Good morning, everyone. From my side, I also want to welcome you on this Inspiration Day of Network Sustainable Mobility. This session is hosted by the European project Surflog. We are here in a big room with not a lot of people, but we have 50 online followers. So all the people that are online following this session, also very welcome to this session on urban logistics. So people here in this big room, you have to imagine that normally 50 extra people would sit in this room. So what are we going to talk about this next hour and a half? Excuse me, I have a...
One quick question from our online followers. They cannot hear you properly. So there is...
Apparently, technical crew upstairs, apparently the people in Teams that are following in Teams cannot hear me well. Can you try and fix this, please?
Your sound was switched off.
Apparently my sound was switched off. It's always special, these hybrid concepts. We're still learning, even after 1 hour of COVID. It seems okay. It's loud and clear, so I can start again. So welcome on this session, all online followers and people here in the room. The session is called Connected and is hosted by Surflog. So first of all, I want to shortly introduce you the European project Surflog. Surflog is an Interreg North Sea region project, and Surflog stands for Smart Urban Freight Logistics Hubs. So we're talking sustainable urban logistics. We've been working these last 3 years together with the partners, City of Mechelen. We also have Borås City, a city in Sweden, Province of Drenthe, and Gemeente Groningen from the Netherlands, and 2 partners from Edinburgh, Scotland, the Sestron Southeast of Scotland Transport Partnership and our academic partner, Edinburgh Napier University. We've been doing pilot projects, making roadmaps, analyzing literature, making case studies. So I invite you to take a look on our website and discover what we've all been doing. And of course, what's also very important in the European project is to disseminate and to come in contact with other stakeholders, other European projects. So please, if you're very interested in our project, contact us. I indicated the mail address of our communication coordinator of this project, Deirdre. So don't hesitate to contact us and to find a way to communicate and to disseminate together. But the theme of this session is connected. And what does it mean in urban logistics? First of all, why should we bother about urban logistics in cities? This is a conference on mobility, and most of the time we're talking about person mobility. But goods mobility is as important as person mobility because 10% of all our traffic is goods traffic. And the question that we pose ourselves, the general question, how can we make this logistics traffic more sustainable and efficient? And how can we connect in urban freight? What does this mean, connected? It can mean different things in urban logistics. It can be a search of how we can connect different flows of goods, or how we can connect different logistics service providers, or connect people with goods flows. And it's also about connecting stakeholders. So that is what we want to present you today, how we have been connecting in the Surflog project. So we have 3 short presentations. They each take up like 15 minutes. We will try to do it in 10-12. That leaves a couple of minutes, 5 minutes for questions. So people that are following online, I have my colleague Arjen here who is following the chat. So if you have a question online, just put it in the chat and Arjen will formulate your question here in the room. So first of all, I want to present our first speaker, and he will be presenting online. And that is Christopher Whitagren. He's project manager urban logistics for the city of Borås in Sweden, and he will talk about his project Good Goods. So Can we make connection with Christopher sitting in Sweden? Hello, Christopher.
Oh, thank you.
Have you heard my introduction?
Sure.
Okay, so I leave you the floor for the next 10 to 12 minutes. You can share your screen so everyone can see your presentation. I leave you the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. It works like this. So, okay. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of the good goods concept that has been developed in the city of Borås, which aims at establishing a solution to make more efficient and especially fossil emission-free distribution of goods in the city center, as well as collection of waste and recycling material. It aims specifically at those small kind of distribution patterns and flows that are coordinated and consolidated in quite small extent at present. So the good goods concept is actually our pilot. As I said, it aims both at distribution of goods, smaller volumes, smaller shipments, as well as collection of waste and recycling material. It offers solution aimed mainly at smaller businesses and offices in the city center. And its entire idea is that it should be a flexible and innovative concept for sustainable city logistics. And also a very important thing is broad cooperation between different sectors and stakeholders here, that we have a close cooperation both between the transport companies, the real estate owners, the tenants, the businesses. It's very important to have a comprehensive cooperation platform to get somewhere here, because there are many stakeholders involved, and that needs to be on board, so to say, for this to take off. So this solution is, of course, not supposed to replace a big part of the overall logistics system. It should contribute to a more efficient logistics system by addressing the specific flows that have a low level of efficiency and consolidation at present. So, and of course, the goals are less environmental impact from transport, as well as a more pleasant city center. And we have a cooperation between small haulier firms, Dues Åkeri, the city, another waste management company regarding the waste collections, and also merchant organizations, real estate owners, and retail stores. It's the principle of it is that we have a goods reception quite adjacent to the city center, where we have receiving the goods, it's sorted and loaded onto an electric van that you saw in the previous picture. And we have a kind of last mile, because it's we have electric vehicles and quite not suitable for long haul distance, so we try to keep as adjacent as possible to the city center. It's also about minimizing the goods handle for the consolidation phase. Also, if you're too far from the customers, you may add time, and that the service level might not be enough. But then we have also coordinated collection of smaller volumes of waste and recycling materials, which is coordinated with the distribution of goods. We use the same equipment. Especially recycling material is an issue in the city center of Borås. Many have quite small spaces to handle different kinds of recycling materials, so we think it could be a big add-on to the service to be able to pick up recycling material and handle that as well. And also, it's important to coordinate resources, the transport resources and facilities, in order to make it cost efficient. So, some general advantages. Of course, we think it's an innovative solution, and we have to contribute to this development towards the climate neutral city centers that we're all striving towards. We are addressing a number of challenges, of course. The use of urban space. It's limited space in most city centers, and this can contribute to reduce the number of freight vehicles in the streets. CO2, of course, and very energy efficient while we're using electric vehicles. We can also have a high utilization rate for both facility and vehicles, since we have based this service on existing flows. So, for example, the goods vehicle is already serving the central area regarding all volumes from DHL. So we have a good base volume to base the business on, which is also a very big advantage compared to when you start from nothing, and of course you need a critical volume somewhere to make it be profitable. We also have a base volume regarding the waste transport from that company that we have cooperation with there. Of course, this contributes to a more pleasant environment in the city, street environments. Another quite significant advantage is that we now have a possibility to tailor those services a little bit more. There are very different demands and needs from the different shops, retailers and other businesses in the city center. And we can, if this is a very flexible service, you can adjust times and more specific services for each company here, and adapt in a way that's not so easy to do with the conventional services for waste handling and distribution at present. And yeah, of course, we have the opportunities to reduce environmental effects, and also not just emissions, also noise, of course, and other impacts in the city environment by coordinated handling of waste and consolidation of goods. Another important approach, I think, is the establishment of a local freight network. We have looked at the example from Gothenburg, the second biggest city of Sweden, which has been running a freight network for, I think it's 13 years now, which I've been working closely together with many years. And actually, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, the broad cooperation and the engagement from the different affected stakeholder groups is crucial to really get those kind of concepts moving forward and to grow. So we have engaged and invited the main stakeholder groups, transport companies, real estate owners, retailers, and also branch associations, university, together with the city and the municipal functions to discuss both development, of course. We inform and discuss possible potential with the Surflog project Good Goods, but we also create some engagement and commitments by engaging them in various development processes for the city center. It could be new regulation systems, it could be information of various projects that are about to be performed, and many different issues that affect them. So this has quite previously started. We had the meeting in June, which was very well received and appreciated, and we should have a second meeting now within a few weeks. So I think this will also be a very good platform to further develop the cooperation between different stakeholders and the city. Next steps for Good Goods more specifically is to adding the concept. We need to broaden it and add more volumes to make it more sustainable and to better add on to those benefits of a city environment, of course. So it's general expansion of a concept. And then we at present adding home deliveries connected to a local e-trade platform as an additional service to Good Goods. Distribution of locally produced food and also the deliveries from restaurants is another add-on to the service. And we're also looking at managing entire waste collection from some small dedicated areas, squares with quite crowded daytime, but Good Goods concept could serve in its entirety or almost entirely. And for the next phase here of Surflog, we also have small test with autonomous vehicles underway, but not so much details in place yet. So thank you for listening, and that was about to say, I think.
Thank you, Christopher. for your short presentation on the project Good Goods in Boros, where you try to consolidate and do it in a zero-emission way, try to also involve reverse logistics, waste logistics, so a real nice example of how to make it more sustainable and efficient. Are there questions from the room here or from the chat? Michael, I'm going to pass you the mic.
Hi, Christopher. Michael from Ghent. I was wondering, how do you, in Good Goods, receive or link offer to demand? That means someone wants to have a package, a parcel picked up. Where can he announce that? So the digital part, the platform, where did you develop it, or did you go and look into the market for existing platforms to make that connection between offer and demand?
Regarding the pickups, for example, the home deliveries, we need a new system, and that is a platform that has been developed for a few years to suit that need specifically. So we have actually a platform for pickup and handling of that service. It's not specifically developed in a Surflog project, but it's a service called Pin Deliver. It's a company from Gothenburg that's quite widely used, especially for home deliveries of food at present. And then in general, for the distribution of parcels, it's integrated with a DHL system.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I understood it, Michael, to add, there's a cooperation with DHL. Am I correct, Christopher?
That's correct.
For with good goods do the last mile.
Yep.
So that's a bit the way how it's organized. Another
Yep.
question from the room, or Arjen from the chat? I'll give you the mic.
Hello, Christopher. I have a question coming from one of our online channels. Can you say something about the type of vehicles you use for this pilot, and how you made the decision which vehicles to use?
Yeah, sure. As you might see in the pictures, we use an e-crafter for the parcels and also some transports of recycling material. And we have a custom-built vehicle for the waste collection, which is a small electric car with a trailer. This was actually, we think, the best options at the time we started the project. Now, of course, new vehicle types and models are appearing continuously. But yeah, I think that the classic distribution van was the best choice. Simply, we made that decision in dialogue with, of course, the stakeholder and the haulier here. But it's regarding the waste handling, especially, we thought that this combination of a small truck with a trailer has proven to be very smooth and flexible to use in those narrow street environments. So that might be the most significant, say, innovation by regards to vehicles. But that's why I think a parcel van is as a quite general use, of course, or a general vehicle, but the combination of trailer and small car for waste collection is not that common, but works very well for smaller volumes and narrow street areas. And it's a Goupil, that is the small Goupil G4. I think it's a small, it's classified as small truck.
Okay, thank you, Christopher. I propose that we continue with the second presentation. So thank you, Christopher, for being with us. Stay online.